is your girl, your diva knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Big ups to all of my subscribers. I'm over my 3,000 mark. I have been receiving a lot of subscribers, so I definitely want to thank each and every one of you for supporting my brand, supporting my channel. For those of you who would love to donate and help my brand, um, grow further, if you are interested in contributing to my channel, you're more than welcome to do that. I will have my Cash App information in the description box below. I would prefer Cash App or PayPal, basically because I do receive those proceeds faster. With Super Chat, YouTube takes a percentage out and then they take forever sending you the funds. So if anybody would like to donate, that's my preference. But if it's more convenient for you to Super Chat, then who am I to complain? I'll take it however I can get it. So again, I want to thank all of my subscribers for still being loyal to me. Those of you who have just subscribed, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. You made a very wise decision. I am the only balanced, well, one of the few balanced content creators that goes in on the men and the women in the Black community. Okay. So on that note, I wanted to get to this particular recipe right away. My cousin Ebony had reached out to me and she sent me this particular video that's been circulated and going viral. Big ups to my cousin Ebony Brown. She knows I have my own channel, so whenever she runs across certain things, she'll bring it to my attention. So she sent me this video this morning through my messenger, basically about Black China and her explosive argument with her mother, um, Tokyo Tony. Now, anybody who isn't too familiar with Black China is known as a reformed stripper, as you have it, reformed stripper to um baby mama from Simps, basically. She has a son, rapper Tiger. That was her first dick deposit check. Then she received her second dick deposit check from Rob Kardashian when she had her daughter from him. Now, ironically, as crazy and twisted as this sounds, her first baby daddy, Tiger, was dating Rob Kardashian's sister, Kylie. He was dating her off and on for many, many, many years. Coincidentally, uh, Black China decides to link up with her baby daddy's girlfriend, Kylie, at the time, brother, Rob Kardashian. And she eventually ended up having a beautiful little girl from him named Dream. So, as you can see, this is like a damn love and hip hop slash Jerry Springer movie Povich type of situation that's going on. So basically, she's one of those females who's been in the tabloids, been in the media. Um, doesn't have too good of a reputation. A lot of people perceive her as a thought, um, as a hood Jezebel, whatever you want to call it, because most of the money she has or her popularity or fame within the industry is based on dudes that she been letting her bang her back out. Other than that, she has no significant purpose. She doesn't own any businesses that I know of. She has no real receipts or credentials other than both of her baby daddies are men who make money, and she's receiving those dick deposits, checks once a month. So anyway, that's basically her general background that I know of her. She probably does more things, but I really don't keep up with a lot of these bras in the industry. So those that's the basics that I know of her thus far. But anyway, if you have not been keeping up with the media, basically it has gone viral. Black China and her mother, Tokyo Tony, had a very big, explosive verbal altercation on her new show, her new documentary. I think it's called, what's the name of her new The Real Black China. Yeah, that is the name of her new documentary, where basically her documentary is a series in which she shares her personal life, and you know, the cameras follow her and day in and day out, and you know, you pretty much we have eyeglass to her daily life as to what she goes through and how she lives. And you know how it goes with these reality shows. Once you open those doors, you basically are letting the whole world up into your personal life and into your home. So basically what has happened is going viral that Black China has had an explosive fight with her mother in a new reality show. And I tell you, when I say that was one of the most ugliest mother and daughter battles that I have seen in years. It was very cringing. It was very gut wrenching. It just was totally terrible. On a scale of 1 to 10, that was like a 15. That's how terrible it was. My cousin, again, she was the one who brought this video to my attention. I would have loved to have put the video in this content, but YouTube is getting stricter and stricter and more funny with using other people's material, using other people's video clips. If you're using other people's material, they won't monetize your videos. And since I'm not getting a lot of donations, I'm not big like that yet. I don't want to take that chance and not get my video monetized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the video in the description box. So for those, before I go into this content, I think it is better that you view the video in the link below so you can know what's going on, and then just come back to my content, and that way it'll make more sense to you. You'll have a better understanding. So, or if you rather just continue to listen and you want to view it later, that's fine. But that's basically what I'm doing my content on today. Is the situation with Black China and her mother, which leads me to the recipe that I'm going to talk about. So basically, like I stated, I watched this video, and the video basically displayed Black China and her mother in Black China's personal home having an argument, having a disagreement. Um, and what ended up happening was somehow things went left. Um, I can't recall the exact words that was stated, or what really amped the argument up to the level that it escalated to. But what I do know is that tensions was running really high between her and her mother, and her mother had a few choice words for her um that was very ugly. In the trailer for the show, which will air on Zeus Network, China comes to blows with her mom, Tokyo Tony. The fight begins in the kitchen when Tony, whose real name is Shalana Hunter, gets in her daughter's face and demands that she gets things straight and get a therapist. When China blows smoke from a bait, Tony lashes out. Put that down. Don't blow that smoke in my face. Be a real woman for 1 minute. Unable to keep calm any longer, China puts her hands on her mom's face, proclaiming, "It's you. It's you. It's fucking you. Get out of my face." Now, when I watched this video, I did notice how humble China Black was to her mother. And with some people, the more quiet you are, the more humble you are, the more amped it makes them. So sometimes silence does not work for everyone. Because some people, they want to up it up a notch the more quieter you are. So I will commend, I will give China props on that she held her composure for a very long time before she finally lashed out and told her mother, "It's you. Get out my effing face." So, Tonio Toki, Tokyo Tony, Black China's mom, just kept poking the bear. When she saw she was not getting a rise out of her daughter, she just kept poking the bear. Okay. She continued to yell at Black China, her daughter. "You put your hand in my face, girl. You're going to stretch your ass along this mother effing kitchen. You better keep your mother effing hands out my face. Don't do it again. You do it again, I'ma rock your world." she adds, egging on her mother. China bites back. Don't do it again. You do it again, I'ma rock your world. Tony responds, bye, bitch. I'm gone. That's not the end of this altercation, because cameras then show the mother and daughter attempting to physically fight one another as several men try to hold them back, which was security. Yeah, it was really ugly. Let me see. Clip comes after 31-year-old model says she's trying to work on herself and her relationship with Rob Kardashian. There was like I stated, there was a lot of exchange choice for words. I just remembered also, in the midst of the verbal altercation, how China's mother kept stressing to her how angry she was when her daughter repossessed her vehicle back from her. China had financially contributed to her mother for many, many years. She basically was her mother's, um, you know, uh, uh, bank account. Any mother, any child who has parents, your mom or your dad struggling, and you're in a position to be able to help them. You try to step out there and you put yourself out there. You don't want your parents up in the street. You don't want your parents homeless and not without transportation. So Black China was there for her mom. I mean, she bought her homes, bought her apartments, bought her cars, you name it. She represented. She was there. But of course, like anything else, people get used to you um doing for them and taking care of them. And then when you get to the point where you realize you're being used, family or not, and you see family taking advantage of you, it gets to a point where you want to cut them off. It escalated, and the security having to pull them apart. China's mom went throwing stuff at her, and China went throwing stuff at her mom. Um, it was just very ugly. You wouldn't even think it was mother and daughter. You would think they was two hood broads in the hood fighting over the same dick. That's the kind of level of ratchetness that this whole incident had escalated to. So if you observe the link, you'll definitely see, it was very, very ugly. I actually, in this instance, I really felt sorry for Black China. I really did. Um Trying to find the other parts of this situation. I want to find a part where she was yelling at her daughter about taking the car away. And that's I remember that was the main point she brought up in the argument. Black China's mother is so hell bent and angry with her daughter from taking the car away from her. I remember this happened a couple of years ago when her mama was popping all type of junk on social media, humiliating the hell out of her daughter, embarrassing her. China got her vehicle pulled. It was one of those really expensive cars. I don't know if it was a Lamborghini. I can't remember what the hell it was. I don't know much about cars. I'm not a car person. But I remembered the car wasn't working anymore because it was one of those special cars where you can deactivate the code in it to where it won't start up. And that's what China did. China fixed it to where she couldn't drive the car. I guess China went to the dealership. That's how it is with them real expensive cars. You can deactivate the code where the person can't even start the goddamn car. Ain't that a bitch? And I remember seeing that when she Black China's mom tried to take it to some hood tree, some shade tree mechanic, and get him to look at it. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with the car. She thinking something was wrong with it, and nothing was wrong with the car. Just that China had the code deactivated, so she couldn't use it. You on social media talking junk, disrespecting your daughter, disgracing her. I mean, the world already damn doing that, and you ain't making the situation any better by humiliating your daughter, who you know already doesn't have a good reputation. And you go and then you do it virally where everybody can hear and see it. It's not like she caught it behind closed doors and went off and said what she had to say. And I do not understand for the life of me why people, every time they have an issue with family or somebody, the first place they, goddamn it, got to go to is social media. They got to go viral. And once you put those words out there, you can't take it back. It's not enough of apologies once you have insulted the hell out of somebody. Also, the coldness witnessed in the interaction between China and her mom is hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. Watching Tony scream disrespectful words to her daughter in social media videos is sad, but seeing her physically approach her daughter and call her the vilest curse words imaginable is nothing short of hard to stomach. Tony's candid confessionals display her anger at being left out of China's newfound fame and money. I don't care what your mother does. She could sell your pussy to the entire Navy. She still deserves respect because she is your mother. You still look out for your mother. Tony yells at China at one point in a frustrated rant toward the camera. With the focal point of their most recent fight between a new car that Tokyo felt entitled to because her daughter is a millionaire, it gives perspective to the importance of materialism that many have associated with China's image over the years. While the surface issue for Tony may be the car, China takes an opportunity to share why she has such deep-rooted issues with her mother. When her mother asked, "Who raised you?" China takes a pull on her vape pen and calmly answers, "My grandmother. You always put men in front of me. 5 men. You put them all before me." Tokyo starts a defense and then concedes. 3 of them were my husband. You left when you turned 16. Through the entire episode, this was the most vulnerable moment for Tony. Many women are so afraid to be alone that they put their possibility of love and security before their children. China isn't the only one dealing with this type of dysfunctional reality. And that's the reason why I'm doing this content. As I stated, if you view this clip below, and I'm leaving the link in the description box. Her mother kept going in about that car. She was so angry with her daughter for taking that vehicle away from her. And this basically boils down to Tokyo Tony automatically feels like because she is Black China's mother, she's automatically entitled to whatever Black China receives. And this is the problem that we have in the Black community. And see, this is why I thought it was imperative that I did this content, because there's so much misconceptions about Black women. And I wish more people in these YouTube streets would educate other races or other genders of Black women versus just bashing Black women. They're not educating others about Black women. And the whole problem is a lot of us as Black women are screwed because of the type of toxic and volatile relationships we have with our mothers. 90% of Black women are screwed up emotionally, mentally, because of their dysfunctional, toxic ass mothers. That is the majority of Black women's demonic forces that are against them, that are against us. A lot of us do not have healthy relationships with our Black mothers. And I have had so many women reach out to me because I did a content a couple of years ago, and I didn't realize I had got a lot of feedback on that particular content. I did a content about I'm gonna put that in a link too. Why Black daughters don't have respect for their Black mothers. And all the feedback I got from Black men telling me, yeah, that's what my wife is going through. From other Black women saying, yes, I don't even talk to my mother. I don't even have a relationship with my mother. It's so much more to a Black woman's failure than what meets the eye. It's a deeper underlying issue. It's more than just she wear weave, she wear too much makeup, she always in the club drinking Hennessy, she always smoking weed, she's promiscuous, sleeping with all type of dudes. yeah, I mean, that is the effect. But what is the cause? And to be honest with you, the cause for why a lot of black women are emotionally damaged has a lot to do with the black dysfunctional women who produced them and gave them life. A lot of black women are going to always catch hell. They're going to always be the underdog. They're going to always be the bottom of the totem pole because a lot of them have dysfunctional black mothers who raised them. And that is why I'm doing this content, talking about these toxic mothers that are basically passing down their emotional, psychological dysfunction to their black daughters. And that is why when you see a lot of a lot of us as black women acting out of character, acting out of ratchetness, a lot of this have to do with who the hell raised us. A lot of us as black women, we are a carbon copy of the women who produced us. We're a carbon copy of it. And the truth of the matter is, we hear this all the time, but when this is brought to the black community's attention, the first thing, and I hear this coming from the majority of black men, is it is just an excuse. Because when it comes to us as black women, we're not allowed to be fucked up. We're not allowed to be just messed up. Something that we're not allowed to have reasons and explanations for why a lot of us are dysfunctionally, um emotionally not in place as far as where we need to be mentally and emotionally. See, we're not given a pass. If we're emotionally damaged, it's just because we're stupid. It's because we're whorish. It's because we gold diggers. Basically, if a black woman is screwed up, she's not allowed to have a reason for it. If it's a reason, it's just coming off as an excuse. No, black women, we just plain effed up. We just are morally effed up, not understanding that for every action, there's a reaction. For every cause, there's an effect. Some of us as black women are screwed up not because of what we want to be, but because of who was the one that had the most influence in our life. So if you grew up in a household and you did not have a father because your father did not want to be with your mom, or he wasn't man enough to stay with his family. He cowered out and left, or whatever the case was. And the only person you had in your life was your black mother, your mother. And she was dysfunctional, and she was a narcissist or had issues. Guess what? You're going to adopt a lot of those character traits because that's who you are around the most. That person has shaped you and molded you. So you're going to have the majority of that person's ways. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of us as black women were raised in single parent households from other black women who were already emotionally damaged. And what these women have done is they have passed down their damage and their dysfunctions to us as their young black daughters. Now, I was fortunate. I witnessed my mother go through a lot, like a lot of us as black women do. You witness your mom getting her heart broke, getting disrespected. In many cases, we have witnessed our mothers be verbally abused, physically abused as a child. Um, you witness your parents' struggles. You witness what your mom and your fathers go through. But as females, as a woman, it takes more of an emotional toll on us because women, we soak up everything emotionally. As a young black girl, and you witness your mom getting beat on, getting cursed out, and she never fought back. She just kind of laid there and took it, and she normalized being abused in front of you. This is the reason why a lot of us are in unhealthy and dysfunctional relationships with other black men that are just as dysfunctionally not well equipped as we are. Again, because we were raised in that type of environment. But again, as black women, we're not supposed to have an excuse. See, that's an excuse if I say that a lot of black women are dysfunctional because of their circumstances and the way they was raised. See, to somebody else that automatically has an issue with black women, that's going to be an excuse. But it's not an excuse, it's the truth. Just like some black men are dysfunctionally struggling with issues because their black mothers or black fathers was not there for them. They was incompetent, didn't teach them nothing, didn't pass them down any wisdom, knowledge, and morals. So they basically had to self teach themselves. And even though it's a lot of men who will not contest to this, they will deny it because of their ego. A lot of them are not going to admit, they're screwed up because of how they black mothers raised them, or how they witnessed their black mothers live their lifestyles in front of them. If you had a new uncle coming over every week as a young black man, I mean, as a young black boy, and now you're a full grown black man, and that's all you ever saw as a young black male, you're going to think all black women are whorish, all black women respect because you were raised in an environment with a black woman. Your first and only influence of a black woman, you witnessed her dysfunctional lifestyle. So now that you're a grown man, you have adopted those negative traits, and now you apply that for every black woman that you run across that gives you a little attitude or rejects you or not interested in you. You want to throw shade and call her you know uh, low common denominator, black, bitch, and all these other degrading names, because again, it's a lot of black men that are angry with their black mothers because she didn't love him, she didn't nurture him. She probably tore down his ego from a little boy. You're a nobody. You're gonna be a loser just like your daddy. You're gonna be another no good NIGGA just like your father. It's a lot of black men who have been verbally abused by their black mothers. But they have learned to hide behind their ego with their sarcastic jants towards black women. They have learned how to mask that pain by just being a straight asshole, to be honest. But black women, on the other hand, because we are emotional creatures, women in general are emotional creatures, we deal with that pain and of resentment and hostility towards our black mothers in another way. Now, back to my point with this is that a lot of us as black women, we don't have the best of relationships with our black mothers. I was fortunate. I had a good relationship with my black mom, with my mother. I witnessed her go through things, but my mom did not penalize me for what she went through. My mom didn't verbally abuse me. She didn't verbally attack me. We had our spits and spats, and yeah, a couple of times, she said some hurtful things or whatever, and I have said some hurtful things. But it's a difference between women being women. When women argue, we get overly emotional, and we let our emotions get the best of us. But when you have altercations, like what Black China had with her mother, that's not an altercation. That's a whole nother level of hate. You can tell her mother really hates her, and not only she shows that, she stated that. As Black China sat there humble the whole time, let her mother cuss, let her mom turn up the scene because she knew the cameramen were there, and no matter how hard China kept her composure, this woman just kept going in on her. How you took your mother's car. If she brought up that car one more time, I'm like, you know what? That's all it's about with you. You're not trying to get along with your daughter. You don't want a relationship with your daughter. You don't want a connection with your daughter. You were so mad that your daughter done pulled the bag from you because you felt like as long as you was Black China's mom, you was gonna always be able to secure the bag. She kept going on and on about that car. She is so burnt and bitter that she does not have that Lamborghini, whatever the hell it was. I don't know what it was. She's pissed about that. She's angry because this is the truth. Being a black woman, a lot of us have black mothers that raised us in poverty type of situations. The truth is this, and I hate to insult a stereotype, but the majority of black women from back in the 60s or the 70s, if they was not fortunate and didn't have parents that put them in college or helped them to establish businesses, or they wasn't married and had husbands who took care of them and provided them with the best of everything that a wife should have, a lot of these black women had to come up fending for themselves. And the unfortunate part is that we have been our black mothers' survival kits, meaning that a lot of black women have survived over the years, basically living off of their children. And that generational curse still has not left, because to this day, majority of black women are not surviving based off of their own skills and abilities, based off of their own careers, their own degrees. You got some, let me repeat that. If it does not apply, you don't have to reply. I don't want all black women thinking I'm putting all black women in the same box. Okay? This is for certain women. If you know you have not made a living off of your children, then you don't need to get offended. If you have, if the shoe fits, lace it up and wear it. That's all I can tell you. The majority of black women, especially these single black mothers, the ones that are never been married, those who have had more, have breeded more babies than they could afford to take care of, are most likely prone to poverty. So their children is their lifeline, is their financial lifeline. And women who grew up in the 50s and 60s, like I said, and wasn't married or didn't have husbands or was single moms, they was only able to make it through their children, meaning that they were able to get child support, they were able to get food stamps. Well, I'll back that up. During the 50s, I don't think they even had those type of benefits. Back then, women had to work out to provide. I'll say more so the late 80s or early 90s. A lot of women would have not made it had it not been for their children, but and more specifically, majority black women, they wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for their kids. Their children getting child support is how they was able to pay their light bill, car note, getting food stamps is how they were able to feed their kids. Having children protected a lot of black women from being, a lot of single black mothers from being homeless in the street, because the government provides single women with housing, food, shelter, and the basic necessities. And had it not been for us, the majority of our parents would have not made it. And basically what happens, as we all become older, and the older you become, the less those benefits become accessible. And if she was not wise or knowledgeable, and she didn't make good of those benefits, meaning that when she had you and all of your siblings, she had all 5 or 6 of y'all getting stamps, getting child support, and getting all of these governmental access and benefits or whatever, so have it, and she wasn't smart, she didn't go purchase a home, she didn't go to college, she didn't start a business, knowing that all of these benefits are only short-lived. She didn't basically prepare for the future. I mean, I get it, we all have a hustle, everybody has had to hustle to become successful. Some people who are millionaires now, people who own businesses and own homes, they hustle to get there. They had to live off of food stamps. They had to live off of housing. A lot of us have had to crawl before we could walk. So it's hypocritical for people to look down and judge people. Yeah, you on stamps, you this, that, and the third. Okay, we all had to hustle. But the problem is when you try to make a hustle like that a career, and you think it's going to last forever, and you're not smart enough to prepare, you're not smart enough to come have a backup plan, then what happens, before you know it, you look up, the benefits are gone, you stand there stuck like Chuck, you lost in the sauce. And this is what tends to happen to a lot of single black mothers. They don't prepare for nothing when their children are small and they getting housed and they getting all these benefits. That is the time you start saving up and banking your bread, putting money and stacking money up, so when your kids get grown, now you can buy you a house, now you can own your business. This is the perfect time to do it. If you're receiving child support, you're receiving food stamps, and you're getting all this assistance, this is the time to start planning for your future. But a lot of black women, they lack the education, they lack the common sense, and some of them are just flat out lazy anyway. They're not trying to prepare. They're not trying. They want to stay just where they are. They want to be stuck in the same dysfunctional situation, spinning wheels, like my mom would say. Just spinning wheels. Ain't getting nowhere. And a lot of them are comfortable with just spinning wheels. So what happens when you look up and your children are grown, they moving out the house, or they having kids that they own, or whatever the case is. Now you have nothing to fall back on because you made a living off of your children. And this is what has happened with Black China Mama. Now, for her to sit up here and brag about how she had all of these husbands, and how she, if I gave my pussy to everybody in a goddamn Navy, I'm still your mama. Well, okay, well, let's say you did all of that, but why you don't have nothing to show for? And that's a problem. She did all of this hoeing and had all of these husbands, but you're still to the bottom. You don't own nothing. You don't own a home. You don't even own something as simple as a 2012 Toyota Camry. You own nothing. Everything that you have to this day as a full-grown woman is through your daughter, who you blatantly disrespect and humiliate. And I know personally, like I said, I have a good relationship with my mom. We had our ups and downs, and we went through our dysfunctional period, but we straightened it out. And God has been good. Me and my mom are very, 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 very close. I mean, me and my mom, we talk like 20 times a day over the phone. But for other black women, they're not that fortunate. I have had a couple of girlfriends who can't stand, to this day, do not get along with their black mothers. I've had friends that was more close to my mom than their own mom. I've had friends that will call my mom for advice because they don't get along with their mom. They can't stand their mom. My mom's like a down to earth type of woman. For anybody who ever met her knows that. So my mom has had to be friends to even my friends. Okay. And majority of black women I know who don't have the best of relationships with their black moms, they say the same thing. It's this sense of entitlement. Something about black women who have grown up in poverty and a struggle. And because they children were their lifeline, it's this sense of entitlement that once their children become grown and making and become successful, they look for their children to return the favor. And my thing is, that is a very selfish and ignorant way of thinking, that your children owe you because you took care of them. It burns me when I hear a woman up here saying, I took care of you when nobody else did. First of all, that was your child. That child would have not come here. So that was your duty as a mother to take care of your child. And I have heard a lot of older black women tell their black grown daughters this. I took care of you. I looked out for you when nobody else did. It's this manipulative, projective type of attitude where you owe me, because I basically felt myself from the beginning having you, and because I depended on you as my lifeline. Now that I'm older and I can't fend for myself because I was tricking, hoeing, or putting men before you, all that karma done came back to bite me. Now I want you to compensate for my screw ups where I failed you as a parent by taking care of me and looking out for me. I've heard plenty of black women do this to their daughters. Make their daughters feel guilty. Your father was never there for us. Who fault was that? I'm all you got. Hell, you probably made it that way because your goddamn attitude and your egotistical sense of entitlement Other people probably could have been there for me, but didn't want to because they had to deal with you to be there for me. And that's another problem in the black community. A lot of black women, their children are going to get cheated out of being blessed because their mothers are so ignorant and nasty and hateful and mean-spirited. A lot of children are not going to be blessed because of their mothers. A lot of y'all right now, you can't reach out to your other side of the family. You can't call your daddy family. You can't call your aunts. You can't call your uncles. You can't call nobody because your mother has burnt so many goddamn bridges. And to this day, she acting like she did nothing wrong. She pulls out the victim card like it's seducing a deck of cards. She pulls it out every time she wants to prove a point or make you feel guilty. My family ain't never been there. My mama ain't never been there. Your daddy ain't never been there. Well, hell, the way you act towards me, I see why. As your daughter, I see why my father probably wasn't there. My grandmother, your mama. And 9 times out of 10 is another thing. Black mothers who don't get along with their daughters. Another thing I notice about that too is that they don't get along with their mamas. It becomes a generational curse. Black China, her mama, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 don't have a relationship with her mother if the mother is still living. And I bet if she was living, she did not have a really good relationship with her. She didn't. It becomes a cycle. And basically, mothers who have not really did right by their children and did not make the best of decisions during their mothering period, during their parenting period. Now that the child is grown and moved on, you want this child to help you correct your mistakes. And it's a lot of black women, we go through this shit on a daily. We have black mothers that want us to compensate for where they failed at. And believe it or not, it's a lot of black women that are constantly being verbally abused by their own black mothers. Now, the way Tokyo Tony was cursing her daughter out, she was cursing her daughter out like her daughter was some, bitch she met at the club that she caught messing with her man. You wouldn't even knew they was mother and daughter. And I will tell all of you guys, you don't even understand a half of what some of these black women go through. It's very disheartening when your own black mother calls you a bitch, calls you a whore, calls you a slut, a woman who has given life to you, treats you like utter gutter trash. That's very hurtful because you look for your mother to be your nurturer, especially in a brutal ass world where we all already got to deal with black men disrespecting us, calling us bitches and hoes. In some cases we deserve it, and in some cases we just don't. Bad enough that we're being judged daily on a regular. We already, as black women, we take a lot of punches and hits through this cold world because we got 2 strikes against us. We're black and then we're women. So we already got the odds stacked against us. And a lot of the things that we go through, the way that we perceive the world, has everything to do with the woman who gave us life. I've heard women sit up here and tell their own daughters, you ain't going to be shit. And then bad enough, we got to go on YouTube and hear it. Black women ain't going to be shit. We hear we ain't shit all the time. And it started from the mother, the woman who gave us life. And again, we cannot express this because black women are not allowed to have an excuse. And I'm not saying this justifies black women being the way we are, because my thing is, regardless of how you grew up or whatever you've gone through, that don't give you the right to be disrespectful towards anybody for any reason. So I'm not stating this to give black women a pass on being beastie and bitchy and hood rat and ratchet. But what I'm saying, for the decent black women who are struggling, trying to be more of what they are, trying to be better than what society has in alignment for us, we the ones that get a lot of beatings and not even realizing that a lot of it already started from our own moms. I knew black mothers who not only verbally cussed their children, daughters out like dogs, but they actually beat on their daughters. How many times we went on YouTube and saw these older black possums beating on their daughters, fighting their daughters, scrapping their daughters. Or the daughters go to them and say, Mama, your man was hitting on me. Uncle so-and-so was hitting on me. He ain't been hitting on you. Maybe if you wasn't wearing them shorts up your ass, maybe if you wasn't acting like a hoe, he wouldn't be hitting on you. A lot of us as black women, and it's unfortunate, is some young black women right now today, they're going to step out into the world damaged because of the woman who gave birth to them, who gave life to them, is dysfunctional, and she's going to instill in her daughter all her dysfunctional characteristics, ways. But like I stated, I've heard all this all of the time, where my friends would tell me, I can't stand my mother. She comes down on me, she criticizes me, um she compares me to other people. As black women, a lot of some of our mothers, they compare us to other people. We've done a reason why black women, the majority of us, have such low self-esteem. Honestly, it is through our mothers. They play the bigger piece of the puzzle. They play the biggest part. And some of them have set us up in dysfunctional situations. Some daughters, they cannot connect with their fathers because their mama conceived them on some hood shit, through slutty methods. A lot of women can't even connect with their fathers because their fathers was married. They black mothers was screwing their fathers, knowing the fathers was married and had somebody. Now, what chance do you stand as a black woman knowing your mother conceived you from a married man? Or your mother has had a reputation of being with all kind of men. You don't even know who your damn father is. We see this all the time on paternity court. So, like I stated, your mother, your upbringing builds your foundation. So if you have had a dysfunctional ass woman raise you, you're gonna go out there and make dysfunctional ass situations. These are some of the black women we see with the 8 or 9 kids and never been married, been living in the projects for 10, 15 years, smoking weed, getting high, partaking in all type of promiscuous behavior. All of this again comes from the foundation that we was raised upon, which is a dysfunctional black mother programming another black woman to become also a dysfunctional black mother. It's a curse. It's a cycle that keeps repeating itself over and over again. As I mentioned, I've had friends call me and reach out to me and tell me, I known a young lady, her mother, yeah, always gave her the best of everything, financially wise, but her mother would always just kind of ride her coattail, wanted her to marry a certain type of man. You need to marry a lawyer, you need to marry a doctor, placing all of these high expectations on her daughters. And that's another thing. A lot of black women are placing high expectations on their daughters that they were not even able to live up to. You want your daughter to marry a lawyer, a doctor, but you telling your daughter this, and her father Pookie and a Ray Ray, but you got all these Pookie and Ray Rays, but you want your daughter to have exceed all of the expectations that you were not even able to live up to. We have a lot of that going on because again, if you have a mom that was a single mother in poverty, she wants you to correct her mistakes, and she's going to correct her mistakes through you. She wants you to marry the top-notch son-in-law, to marry the man with money. That way, if she get in the bind and her bills need to be paid, she call you as her daughter. You think my son-in-law could pay my light bill? You think his son-in-law could pay my car note or whatever? Basically, she wants you to compensate for her failures. She don't want you getting with a Pookie and Ray Ray like her because she see it didn't get her nowhere. She wants you to marry the lawyer, the doctor, so she go around and brag about her daughter got this kind of husband. I got X amount of money. And 9 times out of 10, those daughters end up doing the exact opposite. And the mothers resent them for that. I had a friend who was like that. Her mama wanted her, had such high expectations for her, because her mother was married to a man of high prestige. So she wanted her daughter to do the same thing. She kept riding and riding and getting on her body, and her daughter ended up doing this exact opposite. Married a Pookie and Ray Ray, had a child from Pookie and Ray Ray, and that mother to this day, she resents her daughter for it. And we have a lot of black women like Tokyo Tony. She's resenting Blac Chyna because Blac Chyna has pulled back from being there for her. And because of that, Tokyo feels she has the right, the authority to disrespect her daughter. And what I hate about women like Tokyo Tony, these type of mothers, they are so manipulative. They will sit up there and bash you as their black daughter, disgrace you, humiliate you, and then the moment you defend yourself or say something back, they have the audacity to tell you, you better respect me, don't disrespect me. So as your daughter, you can sit here and call me a whore, slut, all of these disrespectful and degrading names. If you saw in the video, trying to say that the whole time while her mama lashed out and said all type of disrespectful stuff, and she told her daughter to go suck a dick. Her daughter said it back. That was the only thing Blac Chyna said. The Blac Chyna said, you go suck a dick. Boy, when she said that, I mean, the pits of hell bust wide open. And I'm so tired of these black mothers who feel like they can disrespect their daughters, but the moment the daughter do it back, you want to kill her. And then the manipulative thing about it is they'll tell you, you don't need to be disrespecting me. So in other words, you could punch me in my face, punch me in my eye, slap me in my face, kick me in my stomach, put your foot up my ass, and I better not disrespect you. They abuse their authority, especially when you are a child, when you are one of those type of women who really aren't believing respecting your elder. You know, because some of us were raised that you just don't disrespect your elder. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, you do not disrespect your elders. And a lot of us live on that. We believe in that wholeheartedly. You know, so the moment when we're being challenged by these older black women, we try so hard to keep our composure if that is in your blood to respect your elders. Like me, it is in my blood to respect my elders. I've been in situations where they have challenged me and everything, and I'm like, I just because of the way I'm raised, my conscience won't let me just disrespect an elderly person or older person. But the problem is when you have a mother who knows how strongly you live on that, they will take advantage of it. They will take advantage of it because they know they raised you to respect elders no matter what. Now, because not only they raised you, because they are your elder, they are your mother, they feel like that gives them the upper hand to disrespect you even more. And like cement, even cement will crack at some point in time. And cement is a very hard substance. As a human being, is but so much you can sit there and keep taking the verbal whippings and beatings, and you just deal with it. And like I stated, the girl sat there while her mama just verbally tortured her. She stood there like a woman and took it. And no matter what Chyna did, Chyna tried to smoke her mama out, you know, everything she could do to try to keep her composure. This broad kept poking the bear. And a lot of these older women, that's their problem. A lot of them are so set in their ways. They see nothing wrong with what they do. A lot of these older women got this take it or leave it. This is how I am. You gonna take it the way I give it to you. They have this egotistical attitude of I'm your mother. What I say goes, goes. If I want to disrespect you, if I want to curse you out, you as my child, you're supposed to sit there and take it and not even understand that you are a child that's a grown woman. China is in her own house. She's taking care of her babies. She's not obligated to you. She's no longer responsible for you in any shape or form. Whatever she decides to do for you is from the kindness of her heart. And a lot of these parents are not understanding that your children, your grown ass children who are married or got kids of their own, they're not obligated to helping you. If they help you, it is from the kindness of their hearts. But the problem is when obligation becomes expectation and less appreciation. They start looking at what you do for them as an obligation, like you supposed to goddamn do it. Who are you to tell me no? Damn, you got a husband. Damn, you got children. Damn, you got a wife. Damn, you got bills. And the underlying problem is it is straight jealousy. Tokyo Tony is mad because of all those years she went donating, that coochie with more mileages than the 1977 Volvo. She got this high mileage vagina. She's mad because she's down to the bottom. That's why she's mad with China. Because she needs China. She depending on China. And she's mad because China done snatched back the bag. And she thought she had secured the bag through living off of her daughter. She's jealous of her own daughter. Because she's seeing her daughter make moves that she knows she's too old to make. And she can't go back and make. China got 2 kids from men that are financially well off, living in a nice home, driving nice cars. And Tokyo is jealous of that. She hates her daughter for that. She hates everything about her daughter. She hates her daughter's lifestyle. She hates her daughter's looks. She hates her daughter's body. Tokyo Tony is one of them older black women. She's not even respecting the fact that your time has expired. You're still around here trying to compete with your own daughter. You're still around here trying to compete with other women. You see how she's dressing like she's young? I mean, and granted, I'll say, she does have a nice body, but this woman won't act her age. She's competing with her daughter. This woman, there's nothing motherly about her. She's on YouTube cussing and venting about her own child like, they're on the same age level. And unfortunately, it has come back to haunt her because now she's losing a lot of endorsements. It's a lot of people who saw the way she was verbally banging up on her daughter. And she just reported 2 days ago that she can't do the rest of the show. She's not going to continue with that reality show because that explosive episode basically had caused her to lose a few business investments. Then she still won't take accountability. I will not be appearing on the Real Black China next season, she wrote to the Shade Room. Unfortunately, I lost business due to the clippings that they put out. One, I wanted to do this advocacy with a check in my mind about suicide, but I will not be able to do that due to the clip that Zeus put out saying you can kill yourself. Yep, because she told her daughter in the clip that she can kill herself, and she didn't care. Tokyo went on to try and explain her choice of words, saying kill yourself is slang and means something different in DC. Okay, typical black female won't take accountability. She basically tried to dress it up by saying that's just a slang term. I had all intentions on using that money to benefit me and my life. Now I have to start from scratch due to the efforts of others. Tokyo continued. No, I'm not pissed. I'm not crying over spilt milk. I'm just not effing with anyone. I'm moving to something new. So basically, she tried to blame the producers by saying the way they edited it. Still will not take accountability. Every single scene shows me as a bad person, but yet I'm doing positive things, and this is just a show," she added. "Me know is real life and stamped. Nothing more I could say. I am out. I look really bad when I'm trying to do positive things and talk to litters." So the producers put it in your mouth for you to say all of those insulting things. Lady, let me tell you something. First of all, had you never said what you said, they wouldn't have been able to use it in a clip, period. They wouldn't have been able to edit nothing, none of that, had you not said what you said. So you could dismiss me with the excuses on that one. To conclude her fiery post, she called out China, writing, "If your fans think I'm bad, what do you think other people will think or be persuaded to think? Thanks for nothing. Have a great life." She is angry. She is very angry with her daughter. She's angry with her daughter because, again, her daughter will not continue to keep compensating for her mistakes. And why should she, when you are insulting and verbally attacking her as your daughter? And it's a lot of us as black women, like I said, I'm not one. I don't have that. I don't have a toxic relationship with my mom, but it's a lot of black women that have a toxic relationship with their mothers. I remember I had a very close friend. She worked her ass off, took care of her kids, didn't cry, didn't complain. And every once in a while, she would want her mom to get her two sons for her so she can work and provide, and be able to take care, so she could work and style, take care of her kids. Her mother never wanted to keep her children for her, and she was the most humblest one. She was the one that would pay her sons, and her sons' trifling ass wives would sling their kids off and keep going, wouldn't even leave her a pack of ramen noodles. But her one daughter, who was willing to, like, really, you know help her and be there for her and not over abuse, the favor, that was the one she gave the most time. And needless to say, she ended up passing away, and sh- she ended up getting custody of her sons. And it's amazing how her mother hardly ever wanted to keep her boys. Never wanted to help her out once in a while so she could work extra hours. And she dies in a fatal car accident, and her mother ended up having to take in those children anyway. That's how life operates. You never know how the tables are going to turn. A lot of the times we have in our mind who we want to help and who we don't want to help. And life has a way of throwing you curveballs to where you end up having to be there for somebody who you didn't plan on being there for. And in cases you think somebody who you did plan to be in your life forever ends up not being in your life. I mean, just life makes its own rules, basically. But I know this video is definitely this one been kind of going for a while or whatever. But I just want to get ready to wrap it up. But I definitely thought it was imperative that I did this content. It's too many black women that are looking for the black children, and it's not just with black women, even their black sons. You have some mothers that take their sons through the same thing. Their sons cannot, just live his own life and be happy with his wife, be happy with his children, and live his own life because his mama always calling him and wanting something, needing money, needing a handout, because either Mr. Elroy, her living boyfriend, been living with her all these years and taking her SSI check and doing what the hell he wanted to do with it and not contributing, or she ain't have no man at all. So she looked for her son to be the man, to be the husband. We just have a lot of dysfunction with black mothers in the black community, these single black mothers. These ones that's doing all this bragging now about how they take care of their kids and how they are the mama and they are the daddy. These are the same women when they turn around and get in their 50s and 60s and don't have nothing to show for, don't have a pot to piss on, when to throw it out. They're going to look for their kids to return the favor and take care of them. And I don't think it's anything wrong with family being there for family, but I have an issue when you have already used your children as crutch throughout the years, as a survival kit for you to eat, sleep, and manage with just the basic necessities, only for them to grow up grown, have their own families, have their own children, and yet you still expect them to be obligated. And it's just way too many of these, black women that are disrespecting their black daughters, calling their daughters sluts, calling daughters whores. You disrespecting your daughter, but then you expect that daughter to be there for you and to help you out whenever you get in the bind. We have a lot of black women that have a toxic relationships with their black mothers. And only thing I could say to any woman that's in that situation who's experienced what Black China is experiencing, or if you as a man, you have a wife that's experiencing that, or a woman you care about who has a very volatile relationship with her mother, the only advice I can give y'all is as simple as this: love your mother from a distance. It's as simple as that. I know that's not the answer you was looking for. You're looking for something deep. You want 1,000 strategies and all. Is none of that is not going to work. But so long. The whole truth of the matter is, some people you get along with them better when you love them from a distance. You have to accept the fact. I don't care if you see everybody else close to their mama. I don't care if your siblings are close to your mama and you're not. You're the one that's being treated like the outcast. You're the one that's being treated like the underdog. You have to protect your spirit and you have to protect your peace. Somebody's making you feel ugly about yourself. Somebody making you feel down about yourself. You're going to have to remove yourself from out of that person's life and love them from a distance. Because if you don't, all of that negative energy, you're going to take it out on people around you that didn't do anything to you. You're going to penalize everybody else for your pain, penalize your husband, penalize your children. You don't want to pass down those generational curses that your mother has instilled in you. Only you today, as a black woman, could break that curse. You can walk around here bitter, angry, and hate everybody because of your mother never being proud of you, your mother never acknowledging you, your mother never giving you the praises you deserve, even though you felt like you have accomplished so much and you've done everything that you felt like you could do to prove to her that you're worth something, you're trying to be something, and she still will not acknowledge you. She still would not really tell you, daughter, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you for all that you do. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to be proud of yourself. It's better to be proud of yourself. Pat your own self on the back. Don't look for validation through your mother that's dysfunctional. Because, for one, some of these black women, they can't even be there for themselves. So how are they going to be there for you as a mother? A lot of them have failed themselves. Honestly, some of us as black women have failed ourselves. So we're going to fail anybody else around us. It's just as simple as that. And a note to my ladies, who are going through this, um, make sure you keep yourself spiritually whole. Because when you've grown up or been raised in dysfunctional situations and you've been verbally attacked and verbally abused, when you go out there into the world and you have people verbally abusing you, verbally attacking you, and verbally trying to destroy you, it could put you back into that hurtful space and place as to when your mother verbally attacked you, or when your father, because we got some dysfunctional black fathers too. I think I need to do content on that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do content on that because I know a lot of black women who have dysfunctional black fathers, fathers who are in their lives, but fathers who have verbally abused them, sexually abused them. So yes, I'm definitely going to talk about these dysfunctional black fathers in the community because we don't talk about those enough. We know there's 1,000 dysfunctional black mothers, but I want us to talk about these dysfunctional black fathers. So I'm probably going to save that for a part two. But anyway, I thought it was very imperative. That I did this particular content. My heart goes out to Black China. I don't care for her reputation as a woman, but to have a woman humiliate you and disrespect to your own mother, disgrace you like that nationally on your show in your home, damn, I damn near understand why Black China is the way she is. Look at who the hell raised her. I mean, a lot of these black women, if you need they meet their black mothers, it'll tell you a hell of a lot. You know, but again, as black women, we don't get too many passes. We don't get too much sympathy on much of anything. If we're screwed up, we're just screwed up. We're not allowed to have a reason. We're not allowed to have a something that occurred in our childhood to cause us to be the way that we are. We're not allowed to get that pass. But at the same time, we can't keep using that as a crutch to be lazy, to be ignorant, to be hell bent, to be beast all the goddamn time. So at the same time, you know, regardless of what you have gone through, you still have to be a woman about it and not allow your past experiences to make you mean and hateful. So anyway, y'all, it's definitely been a good content. I thought this needed to be discussed. For those of you who still want to join the Toxic Baby Mama Drama webinar, all of my women who are in relationships with men that have toxic baby mamas, you need solutions, you need strategies. I would need those I would need that $25 cash app fee by today. Before I do my webinar tomorrow around 7 o'clock. So only those who submit their cash app today will be receiving a private live link, a private link to meet with me live on the webinar tomorrow so we can discuss you know, these strategies and methods of dealing with toxic baby mama drama. So anyway, y'all, for those who want to leave a donation, you're welcome to Cash App. If you don't have the donation and you still just want to show support, please hit that thumbs up. Please give a comment. What do you ladies and what do you men think about black women with these black toxic baby mothers? I still feel like there's a couple of more points I should address. If I need to do part two, I will proceed with a part two. But with that in mind, it is your girl, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off with a slice of knowledge. Take care. I'll be hollering at you soon. Bye.